What if I told you that the real secret to living until you are more than 100 years old is not just about staying away from a heart attack? What if the answer is actually about growing a tiny, microscopic army that is already living right there inside of your body? Today, we are going to open up the truth about four very special biological guardians. These guardians are found inside the bodies of super-agers, and they have the power to stop disease right where it starts. We are going to show you exactly how you can get them on your team. You might be sitting there thinking to yourself, well, my genetics are just different, or perhaps you are thinking, I am already too old to change how my biology works. I understand exactly how you feel. We are told all the time that getting older is just a downward slide that we have to deal with. But I want you to consider something else. What if the tiredness, the foggy thinking, and the slowing down of your metabolism that you are feeling right now are not things that just have to happen when you age? What if they are actually warning signs that a starvation event is happening deep inside your gut? We are about to take a journey together through 5 specific insights backed by science. We will go in order from the basic changes you need to make all the way to a mind-blowing revelation about 4 specific bacteria. These 4 bacteria are the difference between super-agers and everyone else. We are going to explore how your blood vessels, your immune system, and a hidden particle that we call P9 hold the answers to living a long life. You really need to stay with me until we reach the very end. The reason is that our final point, which is revelation number 1, uncovers a biological process that is so strong that people once thought it was impossible. It is a way to potentially turn back the biological clock using a specific piece of shrapnel from a bacteria. Trust me when I say that you do not want to miss hearing about that. If you are ready to take back your vitality and energy, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. Come and join our community of people who are aging in a healthy way. I have just a quick, meaningful reminder to share before we jump into the details. All of the information I am sharing with you today is for educational purposes only. Everybody has a health situation that is unique to them. Because of that, please make sure you talk to your doctor or your healthcare provider before you make any big changes to what you eat, how you exercise, or your health routine. This is especially true if you already have health conditions or if you are taking medication. Let us use this knowledge to have smart and informed talks with our doctors. Now, let us unlock your potential. We will start with our foundational insight. Foundational insight number 5, the internal zoo protocol. Let us begin with something that we do every single day, which is eating. However, we need to completely change our thinking regarding who is actually doing the eating. Have you ever stopped to think that when you sit down to have dinner, you are not just eating for one person? In the modern world we live in, we have been trained to look at food as if it is simple fuel. We think of it as calories coming in and energy going out. We all grew up during the golden age of industrial food inventions. I am talking about the 1950s, the 60s, and the 70s. We were sold on the idea of convenience, food that stays fresh on the shelf, and food that tastes super good. Engineers designed these foods to taste incredible and to last forever. However, while this was really great for our busy schedules, it was a total disaster for our biology. This habit we have of eating ultra-processed foods without thinking has wrecked our systems because we forgot who we are really feeding. To truly understand this, let us use a comparison. I want you to imagine that your gut is like a house that is filled with 39 trillion pets. You have dogs, cats, goldfish, parakeets, and a huge collection of all different kinds of animals. Now, ask yourself this: would you feed dog food to your goldfish? Would you give bird seed to your cat to eat? Of course you would not do that. Each pet needs specific, high-quality food to be healthy and happy. Therefore, when we eat a diet that is limited to processed foods, it is like we are starving half of the animals living in our internal zoo. Evolution designed our bodies to be omnivores. We have the mixed martial arts of digestion. We can handle a massive list of plant-based foods. When we limit that variety, or when we drown it in chemicals, the pets inside us that keep us young and healthy begin to die off. We lose the diversity that is essential for life. The insight here is simple, but it is also very deep. Diversity is the key. You're eating for 39 trillion microbes. These bacteria are not just passengers coming along for the ride, they are your crew. When you treat them like pets you love by feeding them high-quality, diverse, plant-based fibers, they pay you back with love. In biological language, that love shows up as better immunity, clearer thinking, and having more energy. Now, when it comes to adding variety to your diet, it is especially important for us to do it with care. If you are not used to eating a lot of fiber or fermented foods, please remember to start slowly and listen to your body. If you make a sudden shift, it can cause bloating or discomfort. You should aim for steady, gentle progress. Try adding just one new plant food at a time. So, treating your gut like a cherished ecosystem is the foundation. But once you have established the foundation, you need to protect the supply lines. That brings us to our next strategy. Vital strategy number 4, defending the 60,000-mile highway. If you want to live a long life full of energy, you need to make sure the supplies can get to where they are needed. This is where most people get longevity wrong. They focus on the heart, but they forget about the highway. Cardiovascular disease is like a thief. It steals years away from our lives, and it steals the life out of our years. We often think of it only when dramatic events happen, like heart attacks or strokes. However, the real damage often happens silently, a long time before anyone calls an ambulance. It is a problem with circulation that slowly starves your organs of the nutrients they need to work properly. Let us look at how big this is. You have 60,000 miles of blood vessels inside your body. That is enough length to wrap around the Earth 2 times. Imagine this huge network is like the plumbing system of a giant city. If the pipes are clear, the water flows to every house, every skyscraper, and every garden. The city does well. But if you get blockages, which is like a traffic jam at rush hour that turns a highway into a parking lot, the flow stops. In your body, when the blood flow stops, the tissues downstream begin to die. This weakens the heart muscle, which is the pump. It causes rhythm problems, which is the beat, and it leads to heart failure. You cannot have the best health possible if your delivery channels are broken. The Super-Ager strategy here is to focus on vascular health, not just heart health. This means eating foods and living a lifestyle that keeps the lining of those 60,000 miles smooth and flexible. It means keeping your blood vessels healthy so they can deliver the oxygen and nutrients your internal zoo needs. When your vascular system is healthy, you are essentially keeping the highways of your body open for business. This ensures that every single cell gets the premium fuel we talked about in insight number 5. Of course, moving your body is one of the best ways to keep these vessels clear. But if you have not exercised in a while, please talk to your doctor first. You do not need to run a marathon. Simple, rhythmic movements like walking or swimming are incredible for your vascular health. Now that we have the supply lines open, we have to deal with the enemy at the gates. This next secret is critical because it addresses what actually ends most lives in our age group. Critical secret number 3, the Castle Gate Immunity Shield. When we talk about aging, we often fear the sudden events. But the statistics tell a different story about what we should really be building a defense against. Most people who reach an elderly age do not die of heart attacks, they die of infection. Pneumonia, urinary tract infections, and other infections in the system are the silent assassins that take out the elderly. Furthermore, we have the scary threat of cancer, which is a disease that 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women will face. Consequently, our focus moves from just looking at circulation to looking at defense. Think of your body as if it were a medieval castle. You can have a really great kitchen, which is your gut, and great hallways, which are your blood vessels. But if the front gate is wide open, invaders will come in and burn it down. Inflammation is like pouring gasoline on a small fire inside that castle. It turns an issue that is manageable into a disaster. Cancer, specifically, is like a sleeper cell inside the castle walls. It grows when there is inflammation and when the immune system is not watching closely. But here is the truth that gives you power. We are hardwired for health. We have 5 health defense systems, and that includes our immunity. We know now that certain gut bacteria put up an incredible defense against infection. They act as the guards at the gate. If we can lower inflammation, which is the gasoline, and boost our immune system, which are the guards, we can dodge many of these bullets. This secret is about using your diet to lower inflammation and starve cancer stem cells. It is about realizing that health is not just the absence of disease. It is the active presence of a defense system. By consuming foods that boost our natural immunity, like those containing antioxidants, we are essentially repairing the locks on our doors. We are sharpening the swords of our guards. We are turning our bodies into a fortress that is unfriendly to cancer and infection. So, we have a fortress, we have supply lines, and we have a diverse population, but who is running the show? This brings us to a discovery that has completely changed neurology. Neuroprotective key number 2, the satellite office in your brain. For many decades, medical schools taught one absolute truth. They taught that the brain is a sterile environment. They thought it was a fortress of solitude. We now know that idea was completely wrong, and this error has cost us dearly in understanding brain diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. We are facing a tidal wave of neurodegenerative diseases. We see it in our friends, we see it in our family, and perhaps we even see it in ourselves. For years, we thought the brain was a black box that was disconnected from the messiness of the rest of the body. Therefore, treatments were often limited and they were not effective. Prepare yourself for a paradigm shift. It turns out the brain has its own microbiome. It is not as diverse as the gut, but about 20% of the bacteria types found in your gut are also found in your brain. Here is the comparison I want you to use. Imagine you thought your brain was a lonely island with no communication to the mainland. But we just discovered a fiber optic cable connecting your gut to your brain, which is called the gut-brain axis, and not only that, but there is actually a satellite office of bacteria living inside the brain. This opens up a new frontier. Could we treat neurodegeneration with probiotics? The answer appears to be yes. A specific bacteria strain known as Lactobacillus plantarum PS1-8 has been shown to level off symptoms and stop the progression of Parkinson's disease in studies. It is a psychobiotic, which is a bacteria that influences the mind. This is the brain-bug connection. By taking care of your gut, you are sending reinforcements to the satellite office in your brain. You are not just eating for digestion, you are eating for cognition. This key number 2 proves that the brain fog is not inevitable. It is a signal that the satellite office is understaffed. While the research on PS1-8 is incredibly promising, it is still a developing field. Before starting any specific probiotic routine for neurological conditions, it is vital to discuss it with your neurologist or primary care physician to ensure it fits with your overall care plan. Now, we have arrived. We have covered the foundation, the highway, the defense, and the command center. But there is one final piece of the puzzle. We need to look at the distinct biological signature of the Super-Agers, who are the Centenarians. The ultimate longevity revelation number 1, the Super-Ager Quartet and the P9 particle. This is the secret we promised to reveal to you. When researchers looked at the microbiomes of people aged 20 to 100 and then specifically at the Super-Agers, who are people 100 to 114 years old, they found something extraordinary. We tend to think that as we get extremely old, our systems just break down completely. However, in these Super-Agers, computational biology revealed that for specific bacteria did not just survive. They thrived. They stood out like beacons. These people were not just lucky. They were hosting a specific elite team of microbes. Who are these members of the elite team? Their names are Odorobacter, Oscillobacter, Cristensenales, and the captain of the team, Akkermansia. Let us focus on the captain, who is Akkermansia. This bacteria is a miracle worker. It regulates blood glucose, lowers inflammation, and boosts immunity. But here is the truly mind-blowing discovery, which is the P9 particle. Imagine Akkermansia is a beetle with a hard shell. Scientists found a protein on that shell called P9. They discovered that even if you blow the bacteria up, if you kill it or pulverize it so that only pieces of the shell remain, that shrapnel, which is the P9 protein, still works. It is like a magical key. Even a broken piece of the key still opens the lock. This is the game-changing revelation number 1. The secret to the Super-Agers is not just good genes. It is an active partnership with these 4 bacteria. These organisms lower the bad cholesterol, improve the good HDL, and mount the defenses against the infections that kill the elderly. The best news, you do not need a lab coat to get them. You can stimulate these bacteria to grow by eating the right foods, which are foods rich in polyphenols and fibers. You can cultivate this elite team in your own internal garden, starting with your very next meal. Increasing foods that feed Akkermansia like pomegranates, cranberries, and green tea is generally safe and healthy. However, because these foods can affect metabolism and blood sugar, if you are on diabetes medication, please monitor your levels closely and keep your doctor in the loop. And there you have it. That is our game-changing revelation number 1. It might seem incredible that a microscopic piece of shrapnel from a gut bacteria could be the key to metabolic health and longevity, but that is the power of the science we are uncovering, so we have covered a lot of ground today. We started with foundational insight number 5, learning to feed our internal zoo of 39 trillion pets. We traveled the 60,000 miles of our vital strategy number 4 to protect our blood vessels. We fortified our castle with critical secret number 3 against infection. We unlocked the neuroprotective key number 2, connecting our gut to our brain. And finally, we met the elite team of the Super-Agers in revelation number 1. Each one of these is a stepping stone to a more vibrant, healthier you. You do not have to do all of them at once. You can start with a single meal or a single realization that you are not finished yet. Which of these insights resonated with you the most? Perhaps it was our foundational strategy regarding the internal zoo, or maybe the mind-blowing brain-bug connection, or even our ultimate revelation about P9. Which one are you thinking of trying first? I would love to hear your thoughts, so please share them in the comments below. If you found this journey through these health discoveries valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps others find our community. And do not forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more powerful strategies tailored for our fantastic group of healthy seniors. Until next time, stay healthy, stay curious, and keep thriving.